Hello, I'm finally doing my video on my wounds. Probably going to do another one with liquid latex, but this is my scar wax one. And I'm going to show how I do two different ways of doing it. This blood is running. There's this one that's kind of like open like that, and then there's like cuts and gashes, like a little cut, like more of a gash. So let's just get right into it. The stuff, first I'll just say stuff you need. I use red eyeshadow. This is Bloody Mary red eyeshadow. Some form of purple. If you want, it's optional, but I like to use it. I didn't use them on these, but I'll use them on the ones I do now. This is just a little Hot Topic one. Otherwise, I have like this little palette. Now, use matte eyeshadow. This one's kind of glittery. You probably, this camera's probably not going to pick it up. But use a like matte, solid color, nothing shimmery or like glittery. Use it like a solid color. And then I have this like really crappy, I got a Hot Topic on clearance in like 2 days. I'm like, I'll try it. It's like wet, like cream eyeshadows, but it doesn't work. But I use this black for shading. Otherwise you can use an eyeliner or a liquid or a cream liner or a cream shadow for it. I would suggest like something cream, like you can apply with a brush. You're gonna want liner, black, and you're gonna want red. It's red. So brush to put on your blood. I would suggest, I use a paintbrush. The stuff I'm using cleans out really well. So I would not suggest using your makeup brushes if you want to keep them really nice. You have expensive ones. I would suggest picking up either some cheap brushes or, you know, paintbrush or something. It depends on the blood you're using. So if you ruin your brushes, I'm sorry. That's what I use crappy. And Q-tips. I just apply everything with Q-tips. Otherwise you can use your brushes. You know, if you're using actual makeup product, you can go ahead and use your brushes. And you're going to want your scar wax. This is Ben Nye. Pretty much everything I use is by Ben Nye. I do have Good Blood. This is Fresh Scab by Ben Nye. But I only have one jar of it, and I'm not going to use it. I'm sorry. I might maybe show you what it looks like a little bit, but otherwise I'm using Bloody Berries, Vampire Blood. So let's jump right into, and Spirit Gum. And Spirit Gum Remover. Do not have this without this. You need a remover. Trust me. So let's start. First, you're going to want to draw, change the camera angle. You're going to want to draw on your wound. I'm just going to start with the open one. I like doing them on my hand. So just draw like a shape, and there you go, and then fill it in. You could just kind of roughly fill it in. Doesn't be perfect right now. Voila. Now take your black and kind of like, you don't have the solid, just kind of shade it in a little bit on the outside, because you're going to want depth when you put the scar wax on, kind of like a shadow. And like that. Run a little more down there. There you go. And you can smudge it a little bit if you want. Kind of blend it. You're going to put more red on later. So now, Spirit Gum. You don't need a ton. Just a thin layer around the outside of the eyeliner, not on the eyeliner, around the outside. And it can be as thick as you want to. It depends on how much scar wax you want to put on. I would suggest putting on, you know, not super thick, but decent, because you're gonna kind of, you know, kind of smooth it out in a certain way. You know, just kind of give compensation for that. You want it to be tacky. Mine says just tap your finger on it until it gets tacky. So that's what I'm going to do. Just take a quick around. It gets on your finger, it'll just rub off. But otherwise, you can just use some remover. Now, take your scar wax, and I forgot to mention like a flat, like use a spatula thingy. I just use tweezers and then scrape out some scar wax. A little goes a long way sometimes, so don't think that you need to grab a huge glob. Kind of roll it into a snake and wrap it around and just put it on the on the Spirit Gum. And you can either use your fingers or you can use the spatula thing to kind of push it down to blend it on. And look like that. Now just take more until you're done. So one snake won't always go all the way around, but you can do that. I usually just do it in little fragments. And looks like I'm going to get it in just about 2. And then if you need to add more to spaces, like I'm going to probably, I think it'll be okay. But you can add like more, like if you feel you need to add some more to like there or there or something where they connect, go ahead. But I don't really feel like messing around. It's fine. I know there are lots of like tutorials out there for how to do wounds, but this is just how I do it. Now this is where you can adjust, you know, like if you want to kind of texture the outside, like I like to make it like kind of look a little torn up. You can also lift it up more if you want, like if you, like here I'm going to kind of lift it a little bit. Just make sure that you color or shade in underneath if you do that. But yeah, it looks a little kind of beat up. Now take your, whatever you're using, I'm using a Q-tip, take your red eyeshadow and and fill it in. However much you need to put on. Just to kind of make sure you get it all in there. Now take your black cream, whatever you're using, get some on your, where you're applying it, and kind of, you know, again we're doing the whole depth thing. Put it in corners here. And then I kind of blot it around this side too. Now, here's where you can, if you want purple, take your shadow, and then I kind of like put it around, like, just so it looks like it's bruised. You don't need to like make it solidly purple because that wouldn't look quite right, but you can also, if you want to be fancy, you know, going with black, make it look really like shaded and stuff, you know, but I can do a video on how to do bruises with like pastels. But might be hard to see, but if you do it yourself, you'll kind of get it. Take your blood. I don't really like this blood because it's really runny. I like it for like your face, like vampire. That's called vampire blood, but it works. Just I don't use a ton. I suggest using good blood, like a good high quality, just because, especially if you're going to be wearing it for long periods of time. But make sure you really get it in there, and then if you want to kind of brush the tops, and that makes this. Now, scar wax, it usually comes in different colors depending, you know, what brand and stuff you use. My art teacher has it like in really light tan like this, and then he has like a darker, like a brown. So if it doesn't match your skin tone, you can, you know, get different kinds. Or you can blend it in with your makeup, like foundation or whatever. Otherwise, you know, like with the blood and stuff like that, you know, you're not really going to notice if it's not perfect to your skin. So this looks disgusting. So there you have it. Now let's do a quick one. That's just flat. So first I'm just going to scrape up my scar wax first. Also, you can use a butter knife for this if you're doing, which I like to use too sometimes. I'm going to get a ball of it. Keep in mind, the more you work with it, it's going to melt. So take your scar wax. Let's kind of do one right there. And just put a circle, or whatever you're going to do with however much you're going to use. So, and with the sticky. But as I said earlier, there are different tutorials out there for different ways of doing it. So flatten it out like this, however big you need. This is just my way, blend it down. I'm by no means a genius when it comes to this stuff. It's just something I like to do, and I thought I'd share how I do it. So it's gonna be kind of like like you have thick skin, like thicker skin there. So see where's that? Sorry, the lighting's not the best in the world, but there you go. Take your whatever you have, and let's make a cut. Just kind of, and I'm gonna make it kind of like, kind of gashy, kind of torn up. And then let's do a little tiny one right there. You can use a toothpick too if you want really small cuts. So for this like big open thing, I'm gonna do like what I did. I'm gonna take some red to kind of fill it in a little bit, and then I'm gonna take some black of that creamy color to or you know what, you can just use eyeliner, whatever. I'm just gonna do quick. And then in here, you can just I kind of put a little black around it to kind of give it some depth. Then proceed to paint on your blood. That's my brush, and just put it in there. This one's not the best, but it's okay. Sorry if I can't see everything I'm doing. And then the little cut's just gonna take a little bit. Yeah, this one's not as good as this one, but whatever. You get the gist, I'm sure. And you can just make it as bloody or bruised as you want to. There you have it, and I actually did this in a decent amount of time. Go me. So that's kind of your product. To scrape it off, I use a palette knife, actually. Like, you know, for painting a palette knife, I just take a metal palette knife and kind of scrape it, and then kind of as you go, kind of pour the remover on it. Kind of scrape off the excess first, like the parts that are really raised up that aren't attached with spirit gum, they're just attached to the rest of the scar wax, and kind of peel it off. I'm gonna make a video sometime doing it. I don't feel like going into the bathroom getting more palette knife and stuff, and yeah, I would suggest doing it over a sink. Don't put the scar wax down the drain because it's gonna probably clog your drain. Just scrape it up, get a tissue, wipe it off, throw it away. Or if you didn't use any makeup or glitter on it, you were just like practicing putting it on, you could probably just reuse it. I don't know. I've never done that before. So, but that's a thought. So just scrape it up and then pour the remover and kind of scrub it on. I just kind of, you can use like a cotton ball or whatever, and just clean it up. And then wash with soap and water, warm water, and if you have any scar wax or spirit gum, you know. But I would suggest using spirit gum because this stuff will peel up on you if you don't. Like, this is way more secure. And you can move all around. Usually the blood will dry in time, like this is dry. But yeah, maybe in liquid latex one I might use a little bit of my scar wax or good blood. But yeah, that is that. I think that's about it. I don't think I left anything out, so yeah, that's it. Just remember, spirit gum remover, and matte eyeshadows. And you can also use, like, I have a Monster Wheel by Ben Nye. I don't know where it's at. But you can use costume makeup too. I just use my regular makeup because it's easier. But that's it. Hopefully it was helpful to someone out there. Bye.